Juvenile sex trafficking, the commercial sexual exploitation of our children, is a problem as insidious as it is tragic. It's insidious because it attacks the most destitute and vulnerable of our kids. These are kids that find themselves on the street. They come from the ranks of runaways, thousands in the metro area every year, who find themselves here with nothing in their pocket. No phone, no money, no one to rely upon, no opportunity. These are kids for whom their body becomes their only currency. You need look no further than the street corners, the alleyways, or the internet to find the places where these children are bought and sold every day. It happens all around us, and it's closer than most people think. One of the children caught in the crossfire of this tragedy was a little girl named Amanda, and I met her in the year 2000 on one summer night in North Minneapolis. In many ways, my own story in dealing with the problem of sex trafficking begins with her. I was a case agent who was in charge of investigating drug and gang-related activity in this particular block, and we served a search warrant on a house. After the scene was secure, I was called to a lower room in the basement where I found a little girl, Amanda. She was 16 years old. She wore only a white t-shirt, sitting on a soiled mattress in the middle of the floor, a crack pipe next to the bed. Her arms and legs and her face were dirty. She had abrasions and scrapes that indicated and hinted to some abuse that she'd suffered. What's interesting about this is at that time, Amanda wasn't our priority. She wasn't the reason we were there. And in the aftermath of this particular raid, which is by all our, at that time, by all intents and purposes, was very successful. We seized a number of guns, we seized a large amount of crack, we arrested some people we were able to later put a criminal case on. In the briefing that followed, Amanda wasn't even an afterthought. In this particular case, we did what we always did. We took her to hospital. She had to be detoxed for 2 days before we could send her home. Amanda was from a small town in northern Minnesota, a town of less than 2,000 people. I would later find out that she had 4 drugs on board that day when we took her to detox. And I would also find out that she was a victim of sex trafficking. Amanda would later describe to me that she had run away from her home because of ongoing abuse at the hand of her brother and her father. And she found her way to North Minneapolis, where she developed a crack addiction and was taken in by people who were dealing crack out of the house. And she was for sale. She didn't see any of the money. The men would charge $30 to $50 to people that came to the home to buy crack, and they would purchase Amanda. Amanda was responsible to see between 10 and 30 men a day. And over the course of the next 4 years, I would rescue Amanda 5 different times. Each of these times, I would ask her the same question: why do you keep coming here? Why do I have to keep rescuing you from this situation? And Amanda said the single most important thing that anyone's ever said to me. She asked me, why do you keep rescuing me? And I said, because I can't stand to see you abused, betrayed. She said, then don't send me home again. At that moment, I was immediately aware of the significant horror that these children live in, the significance of their own trauma that they bring into this situation. And it impacted me so deeply because I immediately realized that all my biases about these kids, all my perspectives, all my prejudices and preconceived ideas about why they ended up, like Amanda, in that basement room in that crack house in North Minneapolis on that day, how wrong I really was. It softened my heart, and it was a very humbling experience for me. It was a devastating experience for me to realize that the very person I was there to save and protect, I'd failed so miserably.